today at the New York Arts Center, we're going to have Kam Mak, who has designed the last 12 Lunar New Year stamps, and this is his last year. He started 12 years ago. So there is a set of 12 stamps that he did over the last 12 years over here, and you can order that online, okay? And he actually autographed the box set. So, but I think the set number that he has is like 53 or something, but there's only 2,000 of them. And on the first day of the issue, 200 were sold, so I don't know how many.
I actually asked them, but they refused to tell me, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, so let's give it up to Kam Mak.
Thank you everyone for who's here, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on today in Chinatown. So the parade, and it's a wonderful day too. It's sunny. Oh my God! You know, I just remember last year at this time in the parade, it was pouring rain. Okay. For me to talk about the stamp, I need to go back to when I was a kid living in Chinatown, right? So I just always show these murals that I had done in Chinatown, because I think that's where everything started. Just a kid in Chinatown who's so lost and doesn't really know, not doing well in school, but always know how to make pictures. And I was very lucky enough that there's always someone who intervened, in my life, and then pulled me out of the street and said, "Hey, you want to draw a picture? You get paid." And I said, "Oh my God!" So two of the people here, Alan, can you stand up, Alan? My mentor for a long time, and his wife Lillian, who at that time was working to help us build a new school. And so it was I was very fortunate to be in the right place in the right time. They were there, and I learned a lot working in the mural, and that kind of sparkled everything for me. I mean, really know what Soho is. It was guys like Arlen who took us, "Hey, check out, this is where the art is. Look at these galleries," all that stuff. It's just kind of like, it triggered something in me. I said, "Oh, I want to be like Kim, do your artwork, and then, and just live that kind of life." And it was not something that my parents can agree probably at that time, but I was very young, so that was my dream. So I followed that. And I went to high school. I was very lucky to get into LaGuardia, and it was a great experience. And so throughout school, I was always very fortunate to have just the right teacher to guide me through. And so, and by the time I went to college, I went to school of visual art, and I was again very fortunate to be able to go to this prestigious art school for free. It just, so again, someone's looking out for me. So, but I think it has to do with all the experience I had before that was enable me to have that scholarship. I think without any of those experiences that I had gained, I may not have gone to that school. And then from that school, I knew what I wanted to do. I want to be an illustrator. I want to make pictures. I want to be able to communicate by making pictures. So to make the story short, I worked as an illustrator for the last 30 years, and so in 2004, I was approached by the U.S. Postal Service to design the stamp to celebrate the koi fish. And in the middle of that project, Ethel Kessler is one of the 4 contract art directors. The U.S. Postal Service actually have art directors. They're contracted, they're not really part of the workers on the U.S. Postal Service. They kind of like me, freelance, and they're in charge. And when she found out, she came. Are you interested in? They just renewed the second series. I barely up with the first series, and so when I was told about it and said, "Wow, this is in my alley. I know a lot about it because it's my culture." And so she had come up with some concept, and so I'm just gonna go through this. This is me. The summer before high school, when I did And Tomia is not here, but she was one of the artists that just want to show you something. That's me. I'm on a yellow shirt, lots of hair. That's the girl. If you guys remember it.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
So,
Yes.
that's my grandma. The reason I bring up my grandmother, that's my grandmother, and that's my mom. I think that for this series to exist, they have to pass along to all the tradition to me. And I remember a lot of it, but still I have to run it through them often to make sure that everything is correct and authentic. And so, because surprisingly, the U.S. Postal Service did not have a consultant. I was very surprised. So it was mostly relying on me educating them, so I gotta make sure that whatever I'm doing is correct. And the reason that I have to do that because I broke the tradition. When they asked me to come up with the concept, first of all, I followed the tradition. I followed the previous artist who did the first series, Clarence Lee. He's a very famous graphic designer from Hawaii, and unfortunately, I never had an opportunity to meet him in person. I met his brother in LA, and last year when the year the dog came out, and it was unveiled at Hawaii, I invited his daughter, and I got to meet his daughter, and that was because I felt a lot of responsibility to make sure that I let her daughter know that we are very proud that your dad is in part of design on my second series, just to kind of pay homage to him because it just worked out really well. So that's my mom. She's holding the rooster, the rooster stamp. So I did rats. I followed all the concepts, the tradition. You know, me and the art director, we went to the big stamp convention. We looked at the Lunar New Year stamp from China, from Hong Kong to New Zealand to Canada. So I came up with different concepts because of my work is very detail oriented. It's painted in the manner of the Renaissance. Not that I'm ever that close to the quality of their work, but it just is, the style is Western, you know, so it's an oil on panels. So I did different version of the rats. I looked at things in my culture growing up. Oh, it's the Chinese animal checker, there's rats, you know, there's the actual animal. So the art director took the roosters, so I can just show you a little bit of what I was thinking. And this was the little toy that I remember having. It's a tin toy you hold, and the rooster would like go down and eat. Yeah, right. But so what happened is that after this, she showed it, and she actually showed at the U.S. Postal Service. It's called the Stamp Advisory Committee. It's called the Stamp Citizen Advisory Committee. They hold a lot of power. They decide what stamp get produced. I'd love to be part of that. I think that you have to be, it's like, what do you call it when the president asks you to serve, that kind of thing? Appointed or something, yeah. So I'd love to be one of, because they have so much to say, what stamp gets produced. And they looked at it and said, oh, okay, it looks okay, and ask Kam to do more beyond these two ideas, and we will see the rest of it. And when we came back, right, me and the art director was, of course, I'm gonna say, okay, let's do the monkey and then, but what happened is that we felt something is missing. I want to tell more of a story about our traditions, how we celebrate, and the art director agreed, said, Kam, okay, there is something missing here. You know, I know that you can do a beautiful painting of each animal, but Kam, does that show, is that what you remember in Lunar New Year? I said, no, the most thing that I remember is all the traditions, you know, that's around the house and what we do, how, you know, all this steep tradition that I remember as a little boy and still celebrate that way. And I said, Kam, but what is that? But she had no idea, she's not Chinese, so she didn't connect. She said, come, give me a list, tell me what it is, what each things mean to you? And so that's what I did. So I gave a list of all the tradition and things that I remember, and I tried to be personal about it, taking from my own experience. And she flipped out. Oh my God, I had no idea that Chinese New Year consists of all these traditions. They just know the animal, that's it. And so why don't you come up with some drawings and let's go to that concept and bring it to them again. At that time, I have no idea who else is working on it. The whole process is very, very, if there's another word, I don't want to call it secretive, but I can understand why, like maybe there's two other art directors also pursuing the same contract, and maybe whoever had the best concept gets it. A lot of the project work that way, but usually they don't tell the artist, which I think is best. And so at that time, I'm pretty naive. I just thought, oh, great opportunity. That I did not even think beyond like the impact it will have on my community and that kind of stuff. So I just thought, oh, great way to make beautiful pictures about my culture. That's all. So with that, I came up with a list of things, right? And I felt the first thing I thought is red lantern. The red lantern for me is something that my mother often do. She has, when we were living in Chinatown in the projects, we had these really cheesy little plastic lanterns. My mother would put them around the window in the Smith housing, right in the window, and for me, oh, Lunar New Year's coming, you know, and so, and then I, of course, there's a whole story about the red lanterns, you know, and I shared a story about Nian, which is year in Chinese, but he's also this evil monster who would visit the village and scare all the kids, and there's many versions of this folk tale. And how, so what happened is that the village said, oh, you gotta run away, they're coming. But a little old lady visited the village and said, I know how to get rid of Nian. And the trick is use bright colors and loud noises and bright lights. And so they thought, you know, they lit the fireworks to have loud noises. They used red lantern lit up with bright lanterns all around the house, the entrance of the house, so that the Nian would be, and then it worked. Nian said, oh my God, all these bright lights and all these color reds, and they got scared and never visited the village again. So I can share these kind of stories, which I cannot do with an animal. And so then she presented the concept to the Stamp Citizen Advisory. They loved it. And said, give Kam the first contract. So at that time, oh, great, I get to do the first one, and someone will do the, you know, the other. So I did the lantern, I did the painting, right? And so I shot some reference. I went to Chinatown, bought a couple of lanterns. Here's my son, I think he was 8 years old at that time. I cannot believe it. Oh my God. You know, and I did drawings. And I did a few of these. They did not like this at all. Oh my God. Even they are not Chinese, but they kind of feel, ooh, too windy, kind of negative. You know, the blowing, you know, storm. And so they say, so make it a little more subtle. So I came with another kind of rough sketch. And so I did different ones. And so from here, they said, okay, Kam, do the painting. So I did the painting. I remember, I showed the art on the subway. You don't remember that? No, you don't remember. Yeah, it was on the subway. I promised to you. And so the designer at the orchestra start designing it. These are some of the stages that I have to go through. And I did the paintings. They took the painting. So she took the design with the painting and went to DC and showed to the advisory committee. And sometime the postmaster general also sits on these meetings. He has the last say. And so what happened is that they came back and said, Kam, some bad news. It looks like a bunch of cherry tomatoes. It's not going to work. And the reason is that because it was my first ever job where I'm producing an art that is being viewed so tiny that all the detail that I had put into the lamp disappear. And say, Cam, and say, okay, do I need to do another painting or did I just lost my contract, right? And say, no, I have a way. And she zoomed in, she was very smart, very, talented designer. So this was the painting. No one actually got to see this. Only once it was viewed at Smithsonian. They had it on display at the Smithsonian Postal Museum. And so for people who never saw the original painting, it was so much more. But I will show you, and I will show you what it looks like, the final version, where she zoomed into my painting. So let me just go through some of these stuff. And I want to show you, so before I show you the whole series and tell you what they meant, throughout this whole series, there were ideas that later on got rejected. I painted it, everything's, so after the lantern, after the designer cropped in, they were very happy, okay, Cam, you got the whole series. I was really excited. And from then on, I started going through the list of elements, and is what you see on the table, is what if you follow the series, those were the ones that I was working on for the last 12 years. But through that 12 years, there were changes. The U.S. Postal had 3 changes of management in that 12 years that I was working on the series. Every time a new management came, they reviewed the concept that I have. Cam, we don't like this one. This may be too out of the box for a wider audience to understand. Maybe for the Asian community, but we want this to serve a much bigger audience. And sometimes I totally understand, and I'm going to show you some of the rejected image. And you may agree or you may not agree. This was the red envelope. They did not like the chubby baby. So for us, New Year, chubby baby represent, fertility, have lots of kids, and there's a lot of meaning behind it, but they did not like.
Why didn't they like it? Did they give a reason?
I think that it's just too unusual for them. A little baby, kind of like Betty Whitney clothes, and they don't know what it means.
They were narrow-minded.
Yeah, they were very narrow-minded, and so I had to change it. So of course you see the red envelope, and instead I put a rooster on it. It's fine. So, and you know who that is, right? That's Choi Sun, and I did that. Oh boy, I got in so much trouble. They say, what the hell is this? And I try to explain to them. I showed them, of course I did all my research. I showed them all in basically every choice that I found throughout the history, different style, how it's interpreted, and explain to them what it means. They say, when I say fortune God, just the word God, they got very nervous. Is this a religious, icon and things like that? I say, God, kind of, but it's really about money, something, isn't? But the U.S. Postal Service want to avoid anything that's political, religious. I mean, they even as far as a comp. What's it look like? But it never came to fruition. So they rejected it the last minute, so I had to replace it. So which I did. So.
But how do you avoid political artists?
I never get to even argue because I don't get to talk to any of the advisory committee, and I'm not allowed to see them. Only the art director presents it. There's all these protocol that I have to learn about that I didn't know. So once I got the sense, you cannot go on press and look at your stamp. You cannot talk to the citizen advisory members. I just leave it at that. I think this is a protocol that's been handed down for a long time. So.
It's very secretive, right?
See, I don't want to use the word secret. I think they just have a tradition they want to follow, and also I think because the reason they have these management people that work in the U.S. Postal Service because they've been sued many times. So everything that I do, everything you see here, I have to create as original, so I'm not infringing on anyone else's rights. So I take my own pictures and everything like that. Fortunately, I grew up in Chinatown. I knew some people, and they can help me and stuff so I can get my own original research material. So I have another was the little monk, the teaser, the lion teaser. I thought it was so cool. The image, it freaked them out. They said, "What the hell is this? So scary!" And I said, that is a very integral part of lion dance. Without the teaser, it's not the same. And I had the confetti coming down. It's the Lunar New Year, and no matter what I said, Cam, you gotta do another one. You gotta do another one. So these are things that no one ever. I think this may be the first time, like just a public ever seen this rejection. But I think now I can share. Before I cannot share. Now it's over. So the series is over. So I even did tiger, right? I even did that.
They don't like tiger.
Not that they didn't like, but they don't want anything to be too fierce. Everything is political. Like I did stuff to show them, but at the end they did pay me, so they want to use it. They use it in one of their collectible catalog. So,
That's fine.
So this is what I have originally, and you can see Choi Sen is gone, and the red envelope is now not the chubby baby but the roosters, and there's certain things is changed, and there's the monkey is not the monkey. I mean, it's not the lion teaser, but it is the Chinese peony. And so this is what is presented, and also designs changed. I was very fortunate the design and many of the people at the U.S. Postal Service felt the label is too ugly, and they want to really show. I'm not saying like they felt that they loved the painting so much they wanted to bleed as a full stamp, and no more panels. And so and then we decided. Also, the art director asked Cam, why don't you also do the animal on it? And we have someone write it in Chinese. But my work does not go well in combination with the painting because it's the same style. We want the animal to also stand out, but has to be a more graphic element so that it doesn't compete with the image in the middle. So we were very clever. We said, Clarence Lee's work will be perfect. We're going to reuse it, and it will be a great tribute to him. And so it just worked out really well. So this design is gone. So this is what the whole set looks like. So, and too bad they did not produce the whole set, a sheet like that. It's really too bad. So I don't really know, and I cannot even ask them. It's just crazy. So,
That would be really nice.
yeah. So, but instead they produced a special limited edition box set. So which I also heard that it cost them a lot of money to produce too. So but there's only 2,000 of it. So but if they produce this, everyone can buy it.
Yeah.
So now you got a little scene behind the scene, and I just want to show you guys what each one mean to me, and what the symbolism is. So. So again, I shared the story why the Red Lantern is important and why I included as the first one, the Year of the Rats. And again, the reason I broke the tradition of not using the animal as the central image is to allow me to tell a much more enriched story about our traditions. And in some way, I was talking to the U.S. Postal Service that this would not work. It was being issued in China. They all know, each know. But for us, it's a way to pass along and share the tradition to a new generation of kids, and to people who they all know about the Chinese zodiac story, the little kids, but they don't know what's behind all the. There's a lot more richness to it beside the animal, and they agree, and that's why they took that risk, if you call it risk, breaking the tradition, not using the animal, and perhaps the next new series they renew it, they will use the animal again. But so that's why. and this lion. I was very fortunate. I think it's the New York Chinatown community, a young lion dance. I know them. I knew them really well. I know Jan and Jeff and sisters. I forgot her name. Valerie, yeah. And they were very nice. They performed the lion dance for me, so that I was able to photograph them. So I want things to be authentic. I want to make sure I get the energy. It was really good. Also, I love the green and black lion because it symbolized this legendary general in China. It's all this color, all this meaningful. But again, it is something that little young Chinese kid in Chinatown dream to be performing the head. You know, it's kind of like a cool thing to do. And for me, I chose this because I'm near the ox. So, and again, we perform this to scare away evil spirit. It's very important. It's a crucial part of our customs. Here's what it looks like. So this is their lion. I follow them too. So the Chinese narcissus is adorned the year the tiger. Again, for me, I think I have to say this is the most special one for me. If you ask me, because I'm illustrating something that is a memory that I have from my grandmother when I was a kid, because I'm the only boy out of 5 kids. I have 4 sisters, but my grandmother always treated me special because I'm the boy. And so I basically follow her everywhere. She takes me everywhere. She does everything with me. Right before Lunar New Year, she will buy the bowl, and she will kind of like slice it in a way that it will have more shoot coming out. I will watch her place them on a dish, shout it with gravel, and he said, it bloomed the first day of New Year. You have fortune for the rest of the year, right? That's the whole tradition. I remember as she gets taller, she'll wrap it with a red ribbon. But of course, as a kid, I don't know what any of those things mean. But it was a memory that I never forget. And also, especially the smell, the fragrance of this flower is very specific. And always, again, it's like the red lantern my mother put on the windowsill. Is just like sign the Lunar New Year is coming. So these kind of things, even I'm 50-something years old, I still very fond memory of that kind of thing. So lucky to have it. And so I used this, and actually I went to Chinatown, I bought the bowl, and I did it. Luckily it bloomed, but not on the first day. So for me, this whole more special in this series, and again, you know, it's a lot of I have to tell you the story because this was being unveiled in LA, and I'm leaving. I'm heading out to LaGuardia Airport to LA, and I got an email from the PR from the U.S. Postal. Cam, we're in trouble. Some of the people in LA are very upset that there's a white flower on the stamp. And I said, what? They don't know what it means? Oh my God. And so I explained to the PR person and they pass along, it's a very deep tradition. It's been around for a long time in our culture. You know, it's all mean like with blossom, it's gonna have like fortune for the rest of the year. It means a lot to us, you know, and every household, every China, you see, you know, Chinese nurses being sold in the flowers, in the flower shop, and so okay, Cam, let me explain to them, and then everything just smoothed out when I got there. I didn't hear a thing because a lot of it was in LA. They have their own museum, Chinese American, okay? And some of them are. I don't want to say ABC. They didn't understand. They didn't know. They do know that white is not good. But they didn't know the tradition. So and I think that is that, and when it's explained, then they understood, and they just Google it, and they will figure it out really quickly what it means. So I think in more reason why this concept, I think, holds much more value to it, because then I can really share with people who don't really know what it means, so they can share with their kid, and maybe the kumquat, but I didn't do just the kumquat. I did the kumquat attached as a bush, small on a pot, and leaves and stem attached, because for us it's very important. Even this, every year my mother will buy a bunch of them, and I had to take some home, put them around my studio. It's good for prosperity and business. And like the stem, the leaf attached is very important because it's about relationship being intact. For Chinese people, for families. So you don't just buy tangerine with no stem and leaf. They worth less. Right? It costs more. You buy the one with stem. So it's this kind of stuff that I want to share to a wider audience that don't know about. Why these Chinese ladies go through just one with the leaf? It's like, and of course, Kam Mak, Ho Yi Tao is very auspicious. It's gold. It's fortune. And so it's that kind of story that I'm able to tell. And so this is what it looks like. And I was in the Smithsonian Postal Museum in December. I have some little worries, some bad news, because I asked them to look. I wanted to look at some of the paintings I have not seen since 2006 when I finished. They had it. 2008. They took some of the stuff out. I said, "Where's my kumquat painting?" They said they don't know where it is. I have a feeling that when it was transferred from the U.S. Postal Service to the Smithsonian, someone stole it. Yeah, it's really sad. And it's in somebody's house. They don't know where it is, and they don't want to tell me they stole. They don't want to use the word stolen. They just don't know where it is. When you don't know, I know what that means.
Yeah, right.
So it's really sad. So you see how? So I did different sketches, and 1, 3. I had to make sure also that the numbers of things are very important for Chinese people. All that stuff, I had to really be really careful. Here's the dragon, Unlearn. I think it's Unlearn. Where's the association on corner of Mat and Canal? Unlearn, right? Yeah. Yeah, they were really cool. So what they did is that they lent out their space, I think, for free for this dragon and lion dance troupe. A lot of them are high school kids, and they want seafood, teach them everything, and they store all their stuff up on the roof. I had no idea it exists when I went up, and I met Victoria, wonderful girl. She go to a bunch of those kids went to the same high school I did. We really connected. She said, "Kam, we will perform the dragon dance for you, and please put it on the stand. We'll be so excited if this happened." And at that time, I'm still working on this, researching, getting the sketch. I said, I don't really know, but I'm just grateful that you let me take pictures. I took my daughter with me. My daughter was in middle school at that time. She was excited. Oh my God! They did a whole dragon. I have all these pictures of them performing in front of me. And so I'm still in touch with Victoria. She got married, and so when the post office approved this image, I was so happy. But I have to run through hell because they want Kam. We need to get a release. This is from legal. They say without release, who did the dragon that you painted? You cannot. It will not be a stamp. And even though. And this is the year before it's supposed to come out, right? And so I got from the master, I said, "You have any receipts where you got the dragon?" And she says, "This is a long time ago." But you know what? He found the receipt. It was from Malaysia. She got it from Malaysia. So I gave them to the legal. They called Kam, no one answered. I said, "What does that mean, no one answered?" I really want this to come out. It's like, I already told people. I already told these kids, and so at the end, they relented because they say they make a very honest effort to communicate, to reach them. I try to educate them. The dragon is how it looks. There's no infringement of any kind. That's how it's interpreted. Maybe the colors may be different, but they didn't understand, and that was the hard part for me, is to have them understand certain things about our culture that is not copyrightable. But in any case, thank God, but it was so stressful for me as an artist, thinking they're gonna remove that. So again, the dragon for us is good dragon. It's dragon with wisdom. It's dragon that we pay tribute to for farmers. So it rained. There's so much. So I'll share with my students. They always think all dragons are evil, but not our dragon. So that's what it is. This is their dragon. They might be out there with this dragon today. So I looked at different dragons. I went to the parade, but nothing compared to the one that the kids performed for me. The Firecracker. Here's another story. As a kid, this is the thing that kids do. We light fireworks. And of course, when I just very remember when Giuliani became the mayor, I think that stopped everything. And it's really too bad. But I hold wonderful memory about going through, because I remember living on Eldridge Street. I have this little window right opposite the Manhattan Bridge. You can hear the train go by. Firework will go on all New Year Eve until the first day New Year, and you get out, you smell the fire, the gunpowder. Oh my God! And just lots of drift of wet paper. You can so thick. You can't. So for us kids, we had no money, so we try to go through and find one that's not. Collect them, and then relit them. So yeah, but I was smart enough to never. We live on Eldridge Street. There were all these clubhouse with Italian men's camp house sell fireworks, but I would never involve with that. I was too smart. But I was able to have firework that way. We didn't have money. But for us, we live firework is to really scare away all the evil spirit, to start the new year fresh, and so guess what? This is another one that I went through hell, because this one came from the Postmaster General himself, Potter. I don't remember his first name, just remember Potter. And he said, he thinks this is dynamite. This is not good. This is terrorism, this is weapon. Of course they associate all this with negative things. For Chinese people, it was invented to celebrate something, and so it was just mind-boggling. And everyone agreed with me that Firecracker had to be part of this series, because it's steep in our culture, thousands of years, right? And they understood, and so one person had an idea. That is, of all people, one of the members from the Citizen Advisory, the STEM Citizen Advisory. He's going to retire in a year and a half. When he retires, we'll bring it out. That's what happened. Yeah. And of course, I am second. I was not there. This is told to me by my art director. Yeah, that's what happened. And so, and it came, and I was really happy. I think it would just make this series much stronger. So those are the cultural things that I constantly have to kind of battle with the U.S. Postal Service. Because it's not just the animals, so it's much more important that I get it right. And I want to make it so it's festive. So I have still life. I did them kind of like just laying red. I have them in different, and I decided no, I have to have it going off. I think it's much more auspicious. So, and those kind of things I have to explain to them, or everything I have to educate them. So the Year of the Drum. This is also from New York Chinatown Community Line Dance, the youth line dance group. They performed the drum for me. I used the drum. I love the drum with the peony on it, and the drum is. And this is for the Year of the Horse. And when I designed this, you see the drumstick was not there, but it was the idea of the art director, Ethel Kessler, and she said, Kam, it's a little too quiet, it's a drum. And he said, think of something, add something. I said, I don't want to add a hand in it. You know what? I can add a drumstick. It looked like either the person about to come and play it or just walked off. And I think it worked. It just give a little bit more to the piece. And the drum again for us is very important. It's a sound, the loud noise it accompanied the lions, and it's for us to scare away the evil spirits, and that's what it looks like. And these are some of the sketches. This is their drums. So a lot of these imagery, these paintings won't be as robust if I did not have some kind of connection with my community and people who involve and participate. So it's not just me, but all the people I mentioned, my grandmother, my mother, my mentor, and the line dance, troops, and they all involved actually making this stamp. And I just want you guys to kind of understand the whole picture. It's not one person. Yeah, at the end I put them all together, but if one of those is missing, this series would not have been as rich. And this, again, another thing that a traditional artist, as a kid, I love because it's the Tray of Togetherness. And this is a tray that, as I remember as a little kid in Hong Kong, it's the second day of the New Year. We all go visit relatives and friends, and they will bring out this tray with sweets. And as a kid, we often raid the tray. My grandmother said, "Not for you." All the candies, mostly the candies and the chocolate. So it's that kind of memory. But for this, it's very important for us as a tradition, is to offer your family, your guests, something sweet to start the new year. But a lot of stuff that my grandmother and my mother puts in, they all have a lot of meaning. Sometimes, unless you ask them, it's never mentioned. Like, what is the watermelon seed is meant? Well, it means fertility. Lotus seed. All the seeds mean have lots of baby. And so it's that, and then I think that, like, I don't remember having a pistachio nut in there, but I think it's a very Chinese American thing.
Yes.
And because the way it's cracked has a smile, so it's called Hoi Sam Go, or it's happy, So it's that kind of stuff that when I share that with my student, they say, "What?" They said, "Yeah, yes," and it's just fascinating, to hear about that. And then I have, like, when this step came out, I was sharing with other people from like some people. It depends what region in China you're from. They have different things.
Yes.
But it's all is to offer someone something sweet. But it's interesting to learn how different regions will put different kind of sweet things in there, and so in some way, although my concept may be mainly Cantonese, but I think that if you're from you're from Vietnam or from other countries who celebrate Lunar New Year, you immediately will trigger, oh, I have similar things.
Yes.
And it kind of create a dialogue of sharing things, how each of us celebrate the Lunar New Year. So that's another reason what this will trigger, so. And this whole design of the hydrangea, you know where I got this from? It's actually from a motif from an antique dresser in the Metropolitan Museum. Yeah.
Is it America? Is it America on the It's not the real. This you made this.
I made this, yeah. I took like little piece here and I created a scene. Yeah. And of course, I cannot copy. In fact, the legal from U.S. Postal Service, every painting you saw here, they want to see all my reference, all my research, and everything to make sure that I'm not infringing on anything. If I did, they will change it, make me change it. This is the painting. I really like this. This had a ceremony in St. John University. I remember, and it was really funny too because it was snowstorm in the morning. And when the ceremony starts, suddenly the sun came out as bright as like today, and everything melted. I think it's Bernadette, one of the honored guests. She made a speech and she said how auspicious this is, and That's Chinese. But it's good. You see things in a very positive light and everything. Because like I had a little jade, gunyam jade, and then in Italy I dropped it in the bath, I chipped it. So I went to say, oh, I broke this. Can you fix this? And he said, no, don't fix it. You know, don't replace it. The reason it broke is we protected you. That's why it broke. It's like, oh my God, I never think that way. But it's so good to hear that kind of thing. Here's the peony, and I love peony. This peony is actually in my garden, so I cultivate them too. And that's what it looks like. It's the most beautiful cut flower that we decorate in our house during the Lunar New Year. It's a red envelope. You know, the story about the red envelope, it evolved a lot and to become a red envelope. It's very similar story about the Nian. Is that again? There's that in this village, there's kids, and every year, right around the New Year, there will be these monsters visiting the village and scare the kids, and again, they don't really know how to deal with this, and they try to take the kid and hide them, but there's one day they discovered that some kid, this monster afraid to like scare them or take them away, and they found that they had these coins, right, and the coin kind of sparkled, and that kind of scared them, and they realized the connection. So they shared that story with everyone else. Put coins around the kids around the New Year, and this month will not come and harass your kid or take them away. And that eventually evolved putting it in a red envelope, and then that's how giving Lacey or hongbao to kids kind of came from, again, to scare away evil spirits. I said, oh my God, I never thought of that, and it was very interesting. And so the tradition evolved, and then the story got lost, and it became something, and then become much more involved. And I guess putting in red envelope, red is color of luck for us, and also red is something that is so bright and kind of scare the evil, and so all that kind of come together, I guess. So yeah, this is the one where the fat baby, chubby baby, become this, and what's so interesting, even this, I got into trouble, and so it was in Seattle, right? And it was the unveiling. I went there. I looked, and then I did not see the unveiling, but I did see people, all the honor guests, they were wearing the pin, but they were tilted. So the rooster is standing upright, and I said, oh, what's going on? And then when they unveil it, the band is tilted. And they say, ho ita. They did not like the rooster looking down. But if you see the sketch, right?
So sorry.
Yeah.
The way it was positioned is supposed to be good luck.
Oh no, like they did not like the rooster looking down. It's not, I guess they feel it's not auspicious enough. They shouldn't be, up, screaming. And that's what it looks like. So it's okay with me. So you can see I did one kind of looking up, but it's a square red envelope. But my mother said, maybe not good idea, say fonging. Maybe someone's gonna not like that, and I want to show the rooster, the host rooster, so I'm happy what I did. So
you have to explain a little bit why your mother thinks that.
Say four is no good, and the shape. I didn't read that, but she reads that. So I think it depends on the person, how superstitious.
Death, right?
What?
Associated with that.
Yeah, just sound. Like for Chinese people in Lunar New Year, a lot of things sounds like you or ha. All those other auspicious because what it sounds like. Like ha sounds like happy, smiling. So we have that, and all that stuff to us. There's so many that kind of thing. It's like it takes an expert to know everything. So, and this is the lucky bamboo, and this one has lots of meaning, and I research. And this one, and my mother has a few of these at home, And I bought a bunch of them from on Confucius Plaza. I went to the flower shop in Confucius Plaza. I bought one, and I bought the one because my mother's asked me to buy the one that twists. You know, I said, oh, the only thing I see, oh, it's interesting, more than just, no, it has lots of meaning. And it's like, right? And so there's certain things she makes sure that I put in the red ribbons. You know, again, just like the Chinese narcissus, you know, where they wrap the red ribbon around it, not just to hold up, but also mean holding the family together, relationship together. It's all about togetherness. And so that's what that means here too. And then the 3 stalk mean Phúc Lục Sao. You know, Phúc is, I guess, blessed, and Sao is long life, and then Phúc Lục, yeah, fame, like in business, you know. And thank you. So, and what I did not know is that when I was in Hawaii, when this one fell, someone mentioned, do you know, I think that time, the year the dog was it the wood? Like they have represent different elements, each animal. I think like the dog, this cycle was the wood. They say that the color green is very important. It really paired with the dog. I said, oh, great, I didn't even know. So, yeah. And so I did different versions, and I put the folk because somehow I need to put that somewhere in the stamp. I was able to incorporate it, you know, the paper. But what I didn't do is I did not put it upside down because I think that's another story to tell, because the way it sounds upside down is good luck, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And something like that.
From the sky.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. But maybe just too much. And I think focus on just the lucky bamboo. And here's the last one. And for me to create this painting, I actually had to wait 2 years. So for me to I want the peach blossom. I didn't want to do the quince. I didn't want to do the cherry blossom. I don't feel it's Chinese. For me, I remember as a kid in Hong Kong, it was the peach blossom. It's the little, and every business would have white on front of the table in the restaurant. It's the most beautiful thing because it's just the beautiful blossom without the leaves. But I couldn't get them. I went to the flower district near my school, and they said maybe next year. And I go there, no, maybe next year. And then finally, because it depends, because for them to get it, they had to get it from, I think the way he told me, it was from Washington State. And it's the season. We cannot get it here because it bloomed late. So finally, as I persist, I got it. But it was like $45 for like just a simple stalk, because it flew by plane over. But I knew when to go get it because it's mainly for the Chinese Lunar New Year market, you know. So I got it, and I had to wait for it to bloom. And then I shot lots of pictures, you know. So the peach, the whole peach, the tree, the flower, the tree itself is very sacred in Chinese culture. And so one major meaning is Sao, is long life, and also mean prosperity and grow. So a lot of business love to have it in front of the restaurant or the hair salon. They will have it. So to us, this is a tradition for a long time. So
good luck in romance.
And romance, yeah, romance. Yeah, that is if you're young. So this is actual research. This is stuff I photographed, the flower that I did. So, and that's it, guys. So, any questions?